How's it going, everybody? Sorry for the wind, but I just riding this bike today and thought I'd give a quick overview of what I did to it. This bike is a e-bike conversion with a Bafang BBS02 running a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery and a Likey 42 ring connected to a 11-speed XT drivetrain. I originally built this bike as a hardtail. So a few months ago, I was very interested in this Bafang mid-drive, so I stuck it on one of my old hardtails, and that worked out really well. I rode it for maybe 2 months, and it was a blast. Nothing broke, so I figured that was pretty good. I was just wanted to try it out and see how it worked, and I was actually pretty happy with the way it worked out. So probably about 2 months ago, I bought this frame on Facebook Marketplace. I was just looking for something that was full suspension because the hardtail was a little bouncy. And originally I wanted something with a larger triangle here so I could fit the battery in the middle. But this frame came along, the price was right, it was complete. And I swapped over most of the parts from the hardtail onto this bike. This is a BBS02 Bafang. This is a 68 to 73 millimeter bottom bracket kit, and it fit really well on this bike. It required maybe one 2 millimeter spacer on the drive side to clear the suspension. It's tucked up pretty nice, and I have this battery right here. It's a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery. It's held on with four M5 bolts, 2 original water bracket bolts, and 2 rivet nuts into the down tube. Surprisingly, it does not hit the wheel. I thought it was going to be an issue, but it clears maybe about ½ inch fully compressed on this old RockShox sector I had. It's a 26-inch front. It's 150 travel, and it works out really well. Got a set of MT401 Shimano's, which I think are right awesome. They stop really well, and the price is great. And also a set of these, I don't know, they're kind of generic bucklow snail floating rotors from AliExpress. They say not to use it for downhill or I guess anything extreme, but I've had them on for a while now on a bunch of other bikes, and I've never had one warp yet, so they're probably okay. Been trying them out, so I think they're pretty solid. Here's my cockpit area. It's a little crowded. We have a throttle here. We got the control for the Bafang, so it's basically your pedal assist up and down and information. And here's the screen. I believe it's a 850C, I believe, but I'll have to double check that. On this side we have XT 11 speed and a kill switch for the motor that's plugged into one of the brake sensors. I don't use a brake sensor on this bike, but I felt like the kill switch was important because there was a couple times where the bike went over and the pedal started moving and the bike just kept on going, and I guess you could probably just grab the cranks, but it looked like it was spinning pretty good, so hitting the kill switch button probably a lot easier. Found this button on AliExpress, and I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, hopefully this spot is better. there's less wind here, and I can finish showing you guys some things on this bike. So right here I have a gear shift sensor, and this one cuts the power to the motor when you're shifting gears. I tried it without it. It seemed kind of okay, but with this sensor, it really helps shift, in my opinion. Without it, there was a couple crunches, and that didn't really sound good or feel good to me. Normally, they tell you to run it down here, off the derailleur cable here, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff flying around down here, so I mounted it up here on the down tube, strapped it down, and down here has a little bit of silicone just to kind of keep it from rattling. Works out really well like that. Its battery is also mounted with two velcro straps. This holds it really snug, and I also got a battery bag here for wet conditions, so if water splashes up and it doesn't get the battery too wet. It also been covered with a Scotch Guard, like waterproofing, so water sheds off it pretty well. What else is on this bike? Yeah, we got this Ebike 40 tooth with the Ebike cover. This really helps the chain line. Without this chain ring, the chain line was really wacky. It was way out here, and you would never get it into the lowest gear up here. But with this chain ring, it fixed all the issues. And as you can see, it's a 40 tooth. It's very close, but doesn't hit. I almost feel like it could go with a 42 tooth on this bike, because I feel like it could use a little bit more speed. It's pretty torquey. This thing is very torquey going up hills. It'll basically climb anything you want with it if you put it in a low gear. That's about it with this. Last item I want to show you are these Shimano cranks. You could get a bunch of different kind of cranks, but I found these at Cambria Bikes, and they were like 16 bucks, and they're really nice. It got rid of the factory Bafang ones, which were kind of thin looking. Didn't give me any problems, but they're a little too long at, I think, 175, and these are 165, so it gives me a little bit more room down here, and just with the electric motor, it feels perfect when you're pedaling. Overall, I am very happy with this Bafang mid-drive. It's very quiet. It's very strong. I think this bike will probably do over 30. Last time when I first put it together with the stock chain ring, it was doing like 36, and that was nuts. But I don't really ride it for speed. I just ride it on trails, kind of like a normal bike. You know, it has up to 9 pedal assist, and I usually ride this on 3 to 4. You put it on 9, this thing's a rocket, man. I don't know what else I'm gonna do to this bike. Probably do a tubeless conversion on it. Maybe mullet the front with a 27.5, and probably put a dropper post on this, and maybe a shock. I don't know if I quite like the shock. It's a little old and worn out, but I rebuilt it, but it just doesn't feel right. So maybe a new air or a coil shock for this bike. So if you like this video, give me a like, and if you have any questions, leave a comment. Thank you.